fraud, like there is fraud. Again, feeding the lie that there is fraud. What conclusions do you reach when you see this pattern of activity targeting Social Security, even if an attack on it is not in this bill per se?
I thank Senator for the question. Listen, I read it as just a different kind of thievery. So what we're talking about here is this massive thievery from Medicaid recipients so that we can pass along this big tax break for folks that don't need it. But my sense is that the billionaire and investment and Wall Street class is really upset that there are still a few remaining government programs that they haven't gotten their hands on, that they haven't operationalized in a way to make themselves money. They've had their eyes on Social Security for decades. Yep. You remember, George Bush proposing privatizing Social Security, which is essentially just taking that big lump of money and handing it to the investment managers so that they can skim some money off the top. They also look at schools the same way, I think, Senator Whitehouse. They've been discrediting public education to the point where now they don't think the Department of Education needs to exist. And why? Why? Because they ultimately want to do the same thing for our public schools. They want to privatize our elementary schools, our middle schools, our high schools so that they can have private equity funds owning the schools, providing some form of education, but just seeing our kids as a source of profit. So you can tell me if I'm wrong about this, but my sense is that the theft happens in all sorts of different ways, sometimes in just a transfer, Medicaid recipients losing, billionaires winning, but sometimes by taking government programs and turning them, instead of something that tries to work for the common good, as a program that just gets turned into a vehicle for profit for the very, very wealthy.
Particularly when there's so much money to be made and so much flows through Social Security. If you take it over by wrecking it and then sending in your private equity friends and tech bros to get it operational again, and then let them slice off a share for themselves by privatizing either it or its operations, you have created a massive new revenue stream for the super rich. So with that, I see that there are a few colleagues on the other side who have come over. It may be that it is their turn, so I will, Senator Murphy, are you cool to yield the floor? I will yield the floor.